One. Take it away, Joe. You're on the air live. Okay, here we go. The morning rant against the local gang stalkers. Now, let me tell you something about these idiots. I've been doing this little rant, right? I've been ranting and I've been raving now for 3 years about these people being drug dealers, drug addicts out in the street, you know, just cars driving by, selling dope. So now I've been doing this for 3 years. They're listening to me every morning. Every morning, I get up and they say, "There he goes. He's going to the bathroom. He's touching his back pocket. There he goes." And I had him. Where'd he go? He's in the. He just went outside. And these are like 2, 3 people up in the mountains here, right? Way in the mountains. That's the south where the camera's pointing south. So now I tell these people, they're listening. I hear them on this little contraption device that receives radio transmissions. It's like a new invention. Marconi did this. Didn't catch on too well. They haven't used it in society that much yet. This particular group is not aware that radio signals propagate. They actually think it's a ghost signal. You know, like they did back in the old days, the 20s, with the seances, you know, with the old lady. They show the wire under the table, and then a guy in the back room with a curtain, and he's talking into a microphone. And there's like a ghost figure, right? It's like set in the 20s. And there's the rich woman with her purse open with money being given to the gypsy, right? That's what these people think, 1917 technology. Now, I keep telling these nitwits in the neighborhood, okay, I've been telling everyone you're dealing drugs, okay? You're dealing drugs. You may not be dealing them as overtly as you think, but you're dealing them covertly, you know? You know what I mean? What's that Mexican word for hola? Hola. I'm down in Beacon, New York, right? And I got this radio thing going. Every time a car pulled up to Teller Avenue, no, not Teller, it was Fishkill Avenue and Route 52, and I believe it was Verplank, right? Whenever a car pulled up, someone would go, hola, hola, what you need? What you need? This is in the city, right? And I'm like, what does that mean? And then someone would say, go take a right and go down at the bottom of the hill, and someone will come out and tell you where to go, right? I'm listening to this. This went on all summer. I was down in Beacon. And I'm just sitting there listening, you know, kind of hearing these channels going on. This is not like police scanners. This is this covert drug channel, right? So then another person's bopping up the street, some young woman, and she's staring at her iPhone. I mean, staring at it like she's glued to it. And all of a sudden someone goes, hola. And I guess she's using the Google Thought chip now to communicate and purchase drugs. So she starts talking, and they say, well, you continue straight down through the traffic light, take a right, and someone will meet you down there. She's like, okay. Meanwhile, this is going on at that level. That's the drug dealer level, right? Meanwhile, up here, what's going on, they're tagged down on a network to Beacon. I'm broadcasting from Beacon with the live stream on Sounds of the City, I called it, because it was really cool. In the city, you can hear all the engines from the train station revving up and moving cargo freight around. And you can hear the trains going through late at night, you know, the whistles and stuff out in the distance. It's pretty cool at night, you know. It's really cool hearing the sounds of the city. People walking by, you know, click, 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 you know, talking, whatever, click, 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 you know. You could hear the people going by saying, who's in that house now? Is he in there? Is he in there? Yeah, he's inside right now. Well, don't let him see you, you know, and not be inside listening to this. Oh, no, this is pretty cool. I'm listening to people trying to break in. So this is really cool. So then I hear tune in the station up in Vermont that goes down to Beacon. They were on another channel. And they're yelling at me, why don't you move your fucking ass back up here so we can kick your fucking ass, calling in. And then it's like, can he hear you? You hear him talking. They're turning, can he hear? You can hear us, right? No, yeah, that's what the guy down there said. Our colleague said that, right? Meanwhile, the colleagues down in the city, they're talking with this Middle Eastern accent on another channel, right? This is the sonic channels. They're all spread apart based upon time delay. So they're talking down there, they're talking there, and I'm sitting there getting the vibe, you know, like, gee, I have a feeling I'm going to be served papers, you know? And lo and behold, I'm going to be served at my dead mother's home, right, where I lived for 25, 30 years, eviction papers for being a squatter. All my stuff has been removed by my family. None of my personal belongings are there, okay? Everything's been cleaned out. My family's telling the courts that I never even went around my mother and that I'm a squatter, and I showed up when she died like a vulture, they called me. They were referring to me as the vulture coming in to pick the place clean, right? I'm the landlord. I'm the one with the proof, with the evidence, with the history in the area, you know, because I went to school in Dutchess County. I grew up there, you know. Since I was like 22, 23 years old, I lived in the area, right? So apparently the judge believed him because there's no way to dispute it. When they have a lawyer, I don't. I can't get one because, you know, the lawyers are like, we're not taking on the state, right? So eventually I'm evicted out. I lost my inheritance, which was merely a have and hold, merely a place to sleep, because I have a visual impairment. I have a bad right eye. I have vision problems. I'm clumsy. I'm goofy. I'm a bum. I'm lazy. I'm not an achiever. I'm an underachiever. You know what I mean? I'm very laid back. I watch TV. I don't do much. I kind of just waddle around. You know, I'm nothing to value. I'm pathetic. I'm worthless, useless. You know, I may be a good guy and help you, but basically, you know, they got rid of me. Perfect. They loved it. You know, my mother planned to set the home up because I have a vision problem, right? And my good eye is kind of iffy now, you know. So they they did it, right? They were never around my mother. Very seldom. Once a year, twice a year, right? For 30 years. And then when she dies, they were the vultures that came in, spun everything, right? Made it like I was the squatter. And all I'm doing is trying to fix the place up like I did for 30 years. They tell the court that they were the landlord. And I'm like, what? They never rented a room to anybody. I rented rooms to in that house, in the apartments, and the other house my mother had for 30 years, 25 years, you know? Yet somehow the court believes them. And I'm like trying to prove my point. And the lady's like, she doesn't want to hear it, the court lady. I don't want to hear it. Because they had a crooked lawyer, they had representation, I didn't. Right? I tried to get representation, but under the law in New York State, they cannot help you. They cannot help you. If you have no money, and even if you have money, they still can't help you if they're told not to, because they get penalized for helping people. You know? The only way they help you is if you get public defender for a crime. Then they're obligated, because there's an appeal process, and they actually will get in trouble at the appeal process if they violate your civil rights and your constitutional rights. So there is oversight in the Justice Department. I must say that. There is one good thing about that. There is oversight, you know, but there's not as much oversight as you'd want there to be. You know, there's good FBI and there's bad FBI. Some people take advantage of others and others people don't, you know. So now so I got this recording going here. It picks up a weird sound. So I'm telling the people locally this morning, listen, you've been doing this to me for 3 years straight, nonstop now, that I've been aware of. 3 years now. This is 3 years. Okay. I've been ranting and raving, calling every fucking agency. Okay. I called the Food and Drug Administration. I called the CDC, Center for Disease Control, because they're using these little dog chippers that use in animals, and they're using them on people, and they're spreading disease. Okay. I called the Better Business Bureau, right? Consumer business, because the meters are supposed to be controlled. The smart meters are being used as weapons to lock on to these pet chip readers, right? I called CIA, NSA, FBI. I called the local DA. I called the sheriff's department. That's the DA. Public defender's office. I called the state senator Leahy's office in Vermont. I signed up with the organized gang stalking petition to bring it to Congress's attention of what they're doing. Because it's not just me. Okay? There's a lot of people doing this to people, and they're getting away with it because it's all brand new, high tech, no laws. You can literally stick a little chip in somebody, and you can interfere with their biological functions and their neurological functions. And you can be like a little ghost. Hi, I'm Casper. What you doing? Now, if you're unaware, they can fool you. Okay? I met up here when I got, after the first year, I met one guy who's telling me he has a ghost in his garage and he can hear him from the house. And I'm telling him, no, you don't get it. That's not a ghost, right? I'm trying to tell this guy. I feel the microwaves coming into my head right now. My teeth are starting to vibrate. So I tell the guy, and I'll probably have to move very soon, getting lightheaded. So I tell the guy, that's not a ghost. It's a laser speaker. Okay? These are speakers that you can point a light 1,000 feet off a building and project sound. You can project copyrighted material. You realize that? That means someone could be talking on a broadcast, on a TV station, a newscast, and you can broadcast a copyrighted piece of equipment and shut down that broadcast. Because if it goes to play on the air and they hear the copyrighted music, they can shut it down, right? What a way to shut the media down, right? There you go. So all they got to do now is the news media and all these news people broadcast through their laser speakers, ultrasound, copyrighted material. So when they go to broadcast on the airways, you hear the music in the background. Therefore, it's copyright violation and it has to be shut down. Irrelevant if it's criminal, right? So I tell these people, listen, drug addicts, you sound like drug addicts, you walk like drug addicts, right? You look like drug addicts, okay? You act like drug addicts. You don't work, okay? Somehow you're home every day, 3 shifts, 4 shifts, every day of every minute. I am so far up in the boonies. Take a ride to Vermont someday. If you've ever gone to Vermont, there's Killington and there's Stowe. That's 89. Okay? I live to the right in the boonies they call it, in the mountains. There is nothing here. There's no reason to be here. I'm not in a city like Stowe or Killington. There's nothing here. And these people don't work. I'm like, how do you even afford to smoke cigarettes at $10 a pack a day? You know? They sit there and walk around with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth like they're mobsters, right? And I keep telling them, listen to me. I've made so much waves. I keep yelling and screaming what you're doing. I can't believe no one's even investigated you yet. You know? Because why are you so bold and daring and what do they call it? Outwardly kind of like belligerently kind of cocky, you know? You're just being the cocky drug dealer. Like, you can't touch me. We got protection, you know? I'm like, how do you do this? You know? And I look at the cars. I'm like, I can't even afford a car. And when I do get a car, someone sabotages it. Yet everyone else around me is driving. Yet I've had over 6 instances of bad gasoline from the local gas station, yet everyone else in town has had none. And I'm like, this don't make sense. How the hell can I have all these vehicles have all these problems? And the one guy's telling me that I look like a cop, and that's what makes him scared, right? But I'm like, if I look like a cop, why don't you be my friend? Because all the cops are corrupt, right? Because you keep acting like you have the cops in your pocket, your back pocket, remember? And that's all they do. They talk with their subliminal conversation on this power grid while they listen into your home. You're unaware. You're sitting there watching TV. You get your mail, right? This guy's observing you through your thoughts, right? Opening mail. He'll say something. So, how much money you got? How much money you got? And you read it, and your thoughts read your amount, your balance. Your thoughts read it while you're watching TV and broadcast it on that channel. And this guy's like, "Oh, cool. What's your account number?" He's got you now. He's hooked you now in a conversation. So now he's going to whittle away. So where's your money at? You have any money in the house? And now your mind subconsciously will have a conversation with him while your conscious mind is staring at the news, watching the weather, open up, maybe even pay some bills, right? While you subconsciously, they're interrogating you. Now, that's what they're doing with the Google thought chip, right? Now, I don't know if these guys out here on Google are aware of that, right? This is what they've done with that chip up here. They've done it as well as they have the laser reader writers that they look for these credit cards with the Wi-Fi clip chips in them, as well as the magnetic readers. And they try to gather credit card data, numbers that they send in, and they make a measly $3 a credit card number. What'd you get? I got 300 of them, but they only accepted 5. But I made $15 this week. It was a pretty good week. I keep sending in the same numbers every week, though, to make it look like I'm making a lot of hits out here. Some people set up down in the city, Beacon. One guy was set up in his window, looking down to the street by a red light. And he had his little laser reader writer pointed at the red light. And what he would do is just scan the car, looking for this data, right? And he'd just sit there and collect data from the traffic for credit card data or personal information corresponding to a license plate. All goes to like a major database for data collection, correlating to, secret data collection, research anybody. So I keep telling the nitwit next door, listen, pal, you're trying to kill me with your microwave that gives you a nasty headache. I've got my little shielding up all over the place. I mean, I have this place shielded. So you're hurting me, but I don't think you're going to kill me tonight. But then again, tonight's the night, right?